Good morning, it's November 6th. This is To My Liberal Friends. I want to be very clear. The election results on Tuesday night was basically a disaster for Republicans and should concern them greatly in the coming years as they prepare for the midterms. Nobody expected a Republican to win in the New York City mayor's race. That's a dark blue city, and Curtis Silva had no business being in the race other than for his own ego. But most experts expect to see Mandami fall below 50% mark while winning the race. But instead, he got a clear majority. In New Jersey, another blue state, some people thought the Republican candidate, Jack Ciattarelli, did worse this time around than he did 4 years ago. Mickey Sherrill won by a margin of 56-43. That's an old-fashioned landslide victory for the Democrat. Moving down to Virginia, I think some Republicans were holding out some form of hope that current Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears could somehow pull the upset. But she was a so-so candidate and a very poor campaigner. But Virginia, a state that I lived in for 42 years, has been turning bluer every election year. Governor Glenn Youngkin was able to win 4 years ago by capitalizing on a couple of key issues that were not present this time around. Northern Virginia has become a Democratic stronghold. Arlington, Alexandria, Fairfax, and now Loudoun counties have all moved to the Democratic column. The same could be said for Prince William County. So Democrats are going to continue to win, and they did win. Whether Republicans or the White House want to admit it, the elections in New Jersey and Virginia were a clear referendum on Donald Trump. Republicans can't blame the incumbent GOP Governor Glenn Youngkin, whose approval rating in Virginia is about 53%. A 58% majority said the state's economy is excellent or good. So which is it? But voters give Mr. Trump a dismal rating with 39% approval. Nearly two-thirds don't like the way the country's going, with 36% saying they're angry and 28% dissatisfied. Only 12% think their families are getting ahead financially. That's a huge undertow for Republicans. Results in New Jersey were similar. Governor-elect Mickey Sherrill won by 13 points, while incumbent Governor Phil Murphy only won by 3 in 2021. The Republicans' Jack Ciattarelli ran a solid campaign against the state's high taxes and punishing energy prices, but 65% of voters were unhappy about America's direction, and that's according to the exit polls, and 41% cast their ballot, at least in part, to oppose Mr. Trump. These elections seem more about Donald Trump than anything else. In both the governor's race in Virginia and New Jersey, the Democrat basically campaigned against Trump and never really offered any new ideas. So even though Trump was not on the ballot, he was certainly on the minds of the voters. The electorate gave Mr. Trump another term because he pledged to lower prices and raise real incomes. But his economic record is mixed at best. Inflation is stuck at 3%. Yet Mr. Trump causes damage with his mercurial tariffs, and then he demands the Federal Reserve slash interest rates to compensate for it. Meantime, he pursues polarizing distractions from his mandate, such as ordering National Guard into cities where they don't want it and lobbying for indictments of his political opponents. Yes, I'm condemning Donald Trump today. Right now, the electorate is most concerned about the economy. That's always the case. Over and over, you heard Democrats use the term affordability. No one more than Zohran Mamdani. Trump campaigned on reducing prices, and that's a difficult thing to achieve. During the Biden administration, inflation hit a high of 9%, and right now it's hovering around 3%. Prices are still going up, but not as fast. But consumers still see the cost of living rising. He sort of overpromised and underdelivered. Republicans are going to have to adjust their strategy going forward. Calling Democrats names is not going to work. Doesn't work for Trump either. Just as Democrats calling Republicans names will ultimately fail. You need policies that will resonate with the voters. Explaining why Democrats' policies will raise costs or hurt jobs and offer a constructive, forward-looking agenda is a much better approach in my opinion. Americans want to know Republicans are making life more affordable, communities safer, and the economy stronger. Right now, today, President Trump has a negative rating. His overall rating is at 43%, with 54% disapproving of him. His numbers on the economy and inflation, they're even worse. To turn this around, the White House is going to have to focus on the economy and the cost of living, speak candidly about challenges, lower expectations, temper the rhetoric, and promise over-deliver and stop going too far like with immigration and custom enforcement roundups at Home Depots. Stop threatening every country with massive tariffs. The electorate for each party has been changing for many years now. Republicans were once mostly non-college voters. Democrats were mostly non-college voters. Republicans were mostly college educated. Today it's reversed. And the Republicans have to acknowledge that non-college voters are less likely to turn out. So they have to figure out a way to turn these voters out. They're going to have to learn to do without all this without Donald Trump. Now, we all heard his usual comments. I'm the greatest. I'm the most popular president in history. Everyone loves me, yada, yada. But facts tell us a different story. I suspect the Supreme Court is going to deal Trump a major blow in his tariffs. I say that because of what the questions were in the court on this issue. His argument that he has these powers through the International Economic Emergency Powers Act was not resonating even with the conservative justices. That might be a blessing in disguise for Republicans because it will take away something the Democrats hammer them on. It's time for Republicans to wake up. Unless they can find a way to turn out their own base, make no mistake, the Democratic base was energized this week, then come next November, there may be another earthquake in the shifting of power in Washington, D.C. This has been To My Liberal Friends. Thanks for listening.